Righty-ho, it is time to find out what has got my panel riled up this week. Starting with Kel Richards, what's got your goat?
There are some mistakes you have to be very intelligent to make. And one of them is the idea that you can ride a bicycle in heavy traffic on a major road. So if you think about what's going on, they are riding bicycles surrounded by vehicles made of steel that weigh tonnes and that are going quite fast. Now, if I had a little accident in my sedan car, to protect me, I'd have a shell of steel, roll bars, a seatbelt, and an airbag. And if you're riding a bicycle, you know what you've got to protect you? Lycra. And they're counting on the magic of Lycra to protect them. We need to protect these people because they're not smart enough to protect themselves. They should not be riding amongst steel vehicles, weighing tonnes, going fast. It should be stopped. The rule I'd make is, unless there is a designated bike lane, you're not allowed to ride your bike on any road with a speed limit of more than 50. That would keep them off the busy roads, away from the traffic, because we don't want to hit you. The Lycra ain't going to work.
There is a point I need to make on behalf of one of our bosses here at Sky News, James Birtles. He wanted me to say that real cyclists also hate road hogging cyclists because they give them a bad name.
Well, can I just say, Kel, your point? I was driving down to Sydney the other day, coming off the Blue Mountains. So I don't know if any of you know that where Glenbrook comes down as if you're heading into Penrith, and there's a very, very steep hill. 3 kids in their school uniform on that hill coming down on bicycles. Now, they had helmets on. They would have been going 80 to 100 k's an hour. I kid you not, because it's where it's coming down to 110 and cars are coming down. And I saw these 3 kids. I was petrified looking at them, and I was over 2 lanes. But I thought if one of those kids fell off and were hit by a car, and it'd be the driver whose life would be, well, obviously the child's life would be forever changed, but the driver's life would be forever changed.
Well, the child would be dead. They die. That's what happens.
Who on God's green earth thinks being on a bicycle, coming down that hill at full clip on a bicycle is in any way a good idea? And I saw 3 of them the other day.
I keep seeing them on the Pacific Highway. Any road that's got the word highway in its name, unless there's a designated bike lane, they shouldn't be there.
Well, that's why they're banned on freeways and such, right, Darren?
Correct. And you've just got to take responsibility for yourself. I had a kid pass me today. I live in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. It's 40, 50 k's. A kid passed me on one of those fat-wheeled bikes,
the fat boy thing.
and then kind of leaned around and grinned and laughed. It's like, I'm not allowed to.
I know.
But you need to learn, because you're going to learn the hard way. That's what Kel's point is.
Yeah.
It's not a forgiving environment. You fall off a bike at speed or get hit by a car, it's going to make a difference to the rest of your life.
And particularly those kids.
Australian.
Yeah, well, that's right. And the kids I see on those fat boy ones, you go down to Cronulla, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
And none of them have got helmets on and they're hooning around. You know, look, you're probably going to come a cropper and learn your lesson pretty quickly if it's not fatal, it has to be said. Jamie, what's got your goat this week?
Well, mine is Treasurer Jim Chalmers, who has now resorted to name-calling because he doesn't like the fact that the Liberals have abolished net zero.
Susan Lee would destroy our economy to save her leadership. Susan Lee has caved to the smirking crackpots and cookers in her own party.
I just find crackpots and cookers, could you imagine if Susan Lee came out and said words like that? She would be crucified. But whenever Labor do it, or the Teals or the Greens, no one ever calls them out on it. And I just thought, let's not resort to name calling. We're allowed to have proper conversations. We're adults. Just because you don't agree with the decision, you don't go and call someone a crackpot.
And it's like, because I'm going to call them crackpots and cookers. Who's that actually playing to, Darren?
Look, I think it's never the leader who throws the stones, so there's usually someone. The Howard government were the best at it. They had Reith, they had Costello, they had people, even Alexander Downer. They were very good rock throwers. They'd come up with a small line.
We called them spear chuckers.
Sure, and that would make it to the... You're trying to make the 6 p.m. news with something quick and sharp that reminds people of all the negatives about your political opponent. That's the point. They would workshop those lines, they decide what they think has the most cut through, and then bang, 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 out it goes, and that's your press conference.
So basically, I've played into his hands.
But you never send the leader out to do it because they're above that.
But would, as a Liberal Party, is it worth worrying about Jim Chalmers calling you crackpots and cookers?
This is a guy who just said this policy is going to destroy the Australian economy. I mean, pot, kettle, black, anyone here. I mean, this guy's doing all he can to absolutely send our economy down the toilet. So I don't think I'd be too worried. And Jim Chalmers has just had to eat the biggest feces sandwich on the super reforms that he wanted. So now he's obviously just being sent out to run the lines the PM doesn't want to say himself.
I'm going to introduce you next week as not journalist and author Kelly Richards, crackpot and cooker Kelly Richards.
This could be a basket of deplorables moment because he is actually slamming a position which I think the majority of Australians are going to take up. And they start thinking my treasurer is calling me a crackpot and a cooker. I think he's losing points, not scoring points.
Very good point. Holly, what's got your goat this week? In fact, I know what's got your goat this week because it annoys the hell out of me too.
And I'm here every fortnight, and I sent this through 2 weeks ago to Peter, our producer, and said, mate, keep it on ice. People who do not return trolleys. It is the end of civilization when something that is provided as a free service to you to facilitate your weekly shop and you are too goddamn lazy to take it back to the trolley return and then leave it in a car spot, particularly in a full car park where it's difficult for others to then get their car in, to get it out, because you are too bloody lazy to return something that is predominantly a free service to you. Because the ones that then make you put a coin in or one of those counter things they have.
Like
they're annoying.
They do that at Aldi.
They do that at Aldi, and you know what? They get their trolleys back most of the time.
Well, maybe they need to adopt this because it used to be the case.
Who has it? So most people don't have a lot of cash. So most people shop with cards.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, but so people don't carry cash anymore. So that when you don't have cash, I mean, whether you've got to tap your card on, it's like an Opal card, tap on and tap off when you take it.
But if it actually gets
the end
people,
of civilization.
Yes.
If you do not have the respect for your fellow shoppers and their cars, their vehicles, their ease, at the use of a free service, you have lost all respect for your fellow humans.
One of the weird ones, though, is the one when you see trolleys on the street. Did they actually take their shopping in the trolley
Yeah, they do.
all the way home?
Yes,
I just think that's mad.
I wonder,
sometimes
when
the
I
kids
see these
push
people,
themselves other home in.
Well, I'd rather them do that than on a bike going 80k an hour down the highway.
Down from Glenbrook.
But I often wonder when I see these, I go, how do these people live at home, right? Do you go home and treat your house like that? Of course you don't. But it is something about the mindset of some people that they feel like when they're out in public, they have no responsibility to anyone else. If you're willing to do... I mean, they're the sort of people who, they start by pulling wings off of moths and things, and next thing they're out shooting people up.
Is this a serial killer?
Civilization.
I think that's their problem.
That's a very extreme analogy there, Caleb. But look, I have to agree, especially when it's in a car spot. That just irks me so much because then I have to get out. You half park your car. You have to get out and be the one to remove. And they say, oh, sorry, the car's waiting to better get past your car because you're blocking the way. So I find it just so rude, so disrespectful to everyone else that wants to use the trolley.
And of course, these days, Darren, you have to do the work in the supermarket to do your own checkout. And then you've got to go out and move your trolley yourself as well, too. It's just ridiculous.
I'll tell you what is the worst. There's the Edgequiff Centre, not far from where I live. They stop at the door. The wheels don't turn anymore.
Yes.
But you can't get to where your car's parked.
Oh,
so you get to the door and you're like, I'm sorry, it doesn't go any further.
Is that the Audi ones or the Coles ones?
The Coles ones.
Yeah, they're electronically...
The Coles ones, they've got like an anklet. As if they're prisoners.
Yep.
They're prisoner trolleys.
Because I was shopping there less than 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. And I certainly wheeled mine down.
Maybe they got rid of it because it was really the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You
They
got
saw
to the door
Darren
and you
coming
couldn't...
and they said, we've got to check this bloke out. Darren, what's got your goat this week?
Well, funnily enough, Caleb, I need the photo to come back up on screen, but my daughter took a photo of the Aurora the other night. Now, I think it's a lovely photo that, my 12-year-old daughter, I'm very proud of her. It was about 8:15 or 8:30. Now, I was here a couple of days ago and Jamie was here, Caleb was here. Now, Aurora deniers or Aurora wowsers are clearly a thing because Jamie said, you should be really proud of your daughter. What a lovely photo. Caleb, that's just sunset.
I thought Aurora was a Disney princess.
Now, so there's two things. One is the wowser nature. It's like, look, but secondly, kids, You just let your kids take a great photo.
You know what, though?
And
She's on a bloody screen, wasn't she? She was on a phone taking the photo.
I was 8:30 at night, and we went to look and find the aurora.
No, it's a
and she took the
beautiful photo.
But you just let kids be kids.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm sorry. It's just that I've spent too much time in journalism. I become cynical now. Everything I look at, I've got to check whether it's real or not, especially in the world of AI. I mean, you could be saying, my daughter took this photo. I'd say, geez, that's the most magnificent thing ever. And then you'd walk out and go, actually, it was ChatGPT that did that for me.
Yes, we went to Iceland for 24 hours.
I apologise. I officially apologise, Darren.
To be honest, it was more illustrative. It was just people with kids, you let them get away with it.
It was actually
Pick your
hilarious,
battles.
though, watching it all unfold, because your face, when Kayla was like, no, that's just a sunset. Darren's like, you don't say that about a child's picture.
Look,
You know what? We'll all be here when Caleb has children.
Yes.
And he's putting the finger paintings from preschool up and showing us the Van Gogh art that's coming.
Your day will come. Your day will come.
And you know what? We will be all old enough to mock you with children through high school.
Everyone deserves to be taken down a peg or two every now and again, including me. And before we get to the break, I'll tell you what's got my goat this week. The rise and rise of non-alcoholic alcohol. I don't actually understand how this works. Well, I know how it works mechanically, how they make the stuff, but it's not actually an alcoholic product. I don't know if you've tried any of these non-alcoholic ones. It turned up because there's some story in the papers today that a mob out of Victoria's won an international award. But if you've tried any of these non-alcoholic wines, I've found them absolutely awful. Some of the beers are okay.
I
Beers
drank
are
that
good.
all the way through my pregnancy, Edenvale.
But
It's
did it?
awesome.
Non-alcoholic wine is dreadful. Beers are okay.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic
Champagne's quite
Guinness
good.
is quite good.
Yeah.
But how the hell do they sell it for $70 a case
I
when there's
know.
no tax on the alcohol in it?
Correct. And have you seen non-alcoholic gin? They do non-alcoholic
Yep.
spirits now, right? Which, as far as I'm concerned, is just
who
like
are these?
Just lemonade.
it's overpriced cordial,
Yeah.
basically.
Yes.
And they still want $40 a bottle for it. It's got no grog in it. What am I paying for?
No, it's spot on, although I am definitely someone who has gone down the non-alcohol path for moments of time, because you can get really good mixes of cocktails that are alcohol-free that you can buy in Coles. And I had one friend that was like, well, why do you bother? Why wouldn't you just
There are
have
restaurants
the
that serve,
cocktail? I'm
that
like,
serve
yeah,
things called
fair.
mocktails,
Yes,
which are
I know.
non-alcoholic, and I've had those at restaurants, and they taste terrific. There's nothing wrong with
fruit
it.
juice
You're
and sugar.
whinging.
I know. It's a bit to me like vegans who want to eat these fake meats. It's like, well, just commit
eat
to being
bloody
vegan and go and eat vegetables. If you want to not drink alcohol, just drink something else.
It's great
surely.
if you're pregnant, though, and you want to still be part of everything.
I'm overruled on that.
I'm annoyed with the cost. I
Yeah, but I
drink all
agree.
that stuff
I
all the
agree.
time.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
frustrating.
Lower the cost, mate. I'll give it a go.